Okay. And we are live. Good
Hey,
morning, Super.
good morning.
Morning, Jennifer.
Good morning. It's Thursday.
It's Thursday, and actually, you seem to have prepared a lot for this episode because we know that it's important to you. Probably more important to you than me because I'm on the field and I get to do less of this. But I know you have a very take a high priority in communication and communicating properly. So I know that this was a pretty important topic for you, and where you thought that probably a lot of supers don't do well.
Um, I don't want to judge. I don't want to judge, but um, I, sometimes there are times you have to write emails. Emails are one of the most important communication ways to communicate
Mm-hmm.
these days, along with text and WhatsApp, those applications. But emails are just so important, and I wanted to share that there are ways to write emails.
So
Um,
this is just your focus is going to be on emails as a communication.
yes, how
Okay.
to write emails. A very
Right.
basic guide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that that will be beneficial to a lot of the gentlemen and gentlewomen in our industry.
Yeah, because sometimes you have to send emails to board members, to managers or residents, or even when you're doing an interview, someone asks you to send a resume by mail. And I remember the first day when I started working in this industry and I have to write emails. I actually didn't know how to write emails, to be honest with you. And I had to Google how to write emails.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, emails, I wasn't really used to writing emails, and I'm sure there are a lot of um, people who are speaking English as their second language or third language, or even for some people who speak English and English is their first language, main language. It's gonna be helpful for everyone because very fundamental basic writing skills,
Right. Right.
and sometimes emails are regarded as text messages.
Or
You know,
we treat emails like text messages,
yeah, and
and sometimes the vice versa, text messages and emails, and you're like, wow, that's like three paragraphs in that
I
text.
know. So I just wanted to share how to be proper. You want to look professional,
Right.
and this is the first step to being professional, looking professional,
Oh yeah.
and perhaps um, making you look different from other people, other
Mm.
supers out there. Um,
Setting a new bar.
yeah, and yeah, it's just basic things, and some of the tips
Yeah.
when you're dealing with customers or vendors even, but mostly managers or board members.
Right.
I want to share some of the tips and some of the mistakes that we often make when writing emails. So there are ways to write a proper email,
Right.
and if it's really easy, and if you follow these,
Hmm.
you're gonna look completely different. You are gonna stand out from the crowd,
Right.
um, and people are think, oh, this guy is really professional. He knows this, and he's knowledgeable. He's intelligent.
Right.
Um, yeah. So I hope this is gonna. I'm sure it's gonna help a lot
Okay.
of supers out there.
I'm excited to see what you put together. Um, you should I put this up? The list that
Yeah, sure.
you sent us? Okay.
Why not? I would love to share. I mean, even if you're not a super, you have a friend who has trouble writing,
Right.
or anyone, plumbers, or everyone has to write emails these days.
Yeah.
When you're sending a bill to a customer,
Right.
you just don't want to send a blank email with an invoice.
I always say, yeah, the purpose of emails is you're trying to get the other person to understand what you're saying as clearly and quickly as possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, that's why I think when I'm looking at your list, some of these things seem like they're gonna cloud that, like they're gonna interfere with your goal of making the other person understand exactly what you're saying, But anyway, sorry about that. Go ahead.
No, those are great thoughts, and I absolutely agree. So I would like to get into some of the tips that I want to share. So I was thinking to begin with, there should be 4 structures in the email.
Okay.
When you're writing an email. First is greeting.
Okay.
And second is introduction.
Okay.
And third is ending the email. And 4, closing.
Oh, I
phrases.
see. Okay, so it's down here.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I just want to go through this very quickly.
Okay.
And then we'll move on to the tips.
Okay, so we'll start over here at greeting.
Yes.
Okay.
So emails have to look a certain way, right?
Yeah,
It
actually,
is,
you're right.
Yeah, it is a letter. It's just not a text. It's
Right.
it's not text messages on computer. No, it has to have a formal structure.
I like that. Never thought about that, but you're right. It's like once you know where the things are on an email, you don't have to think about or look for who sent it, what's the subject line, like
Right.
there's a predictability to that email, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when you start with greeting, don't say. I would recommend you say dear someone's name, or dear sir or madam. If you don't know that person, if you don't even know if it's, that person is a she or he,
Right.
or some other gender.
Right. A middle gender.
Yeah.
Or an outer gender.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I mean, these days we have different kind of genders, but that, and to whom it may concern, and you can just say good morning, someone, or good morning,
Right.
residents. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So when you start your email with this, people will. That's the first impression of you.
This is assuming that they don't know you, or this is like, I mean, someone that you know, you can just, like, if it's Evelyn, you can just write Evelyn, right? Or do you still say that you should write good morning, Evelyn? Good
I
afternoon.
would recommend good morning.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's writing, it's email,
Right.
and you want to look professional.
Right.
That if Evelyn is your friend, why don't you just text? Why are you?
That's true.
using an email.
So yeah, I
So
see what you're saying.
feel like in an email setting, it has to be a little bit more proper,
Okay.
or a little bit more polite than usual. I
Right.
feel like.
Because if you know somebody and you're regularly texting with them on WhatsApp and regular text, and you decide to do email, there must be a reason why.
Yeah, there must be a reason why, right?
Okay.
I mean, it could be someone. No, you have to email two people. Let's say, just making this up, but in a co-op,
Right.
a resident in 2B and 1B. There's a lead from 2B, and you're really good friends with a shareholder in 2B, but you kind of don't know someone, the person
Correction.
in 1B.
Friends or no friends?
Oh,
Oh, I was just kidding. I was just referring to another
oh yeah,
rule
yeah.
that we had about
I mean,
friends
like,
in the building,
you
but
really know this person very well.
okay.
Let's say.
So you're very casual with them.
Yeah, and you say Evelyn. Oh, hi Evelyn. How was your week? You know, you
Right.
say those things. Let's just assume that.
Okay.
And you want to you want to have a three-way conversation by email regarding a leak or something.
Right.
Then yeah, I would be a little bit more proper than usual,
Okay.
because there's another person who's involved in the conversation.
Right.
Yeah, something like that. But but yeah, that's how I would recommend when you're writing emails. Just have a separate line of saying hi.
Right. So
to
you're
them.
right. So you're actually also touching upon the need for part-time supers or those in the industry to get used to writing emails
Yeah.
as a formal way, even if you're dealing with a friend or someone that is more casual to you.
A friend.
Not a friend, but someone that's more casual to you,
Right,
or
someone
someone that's more familiar to you.
Yes.
Because sometimes we get, some of my team members in the industry have been in the building for decades, over 20 years, and with the same shareholders. Of course, after a while, maybe you will start calling them by their first name, and hey Fred, hey John, and then your emails will become a little bit more casual too.
Yeah.
So I think it's great because some colleagues in our industry don't seem to know exactly how to use an email,
Right.
and when I see their email, it ends up sounding a lot like text. It ends up sounding very casual. So it's good to know that you're kind of putting up there that emails are more formal ways to correspond with somebody,
Right.
and that you
right.
should keep it like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the reason why, I think one of the biggest reasons why it looks like a text message is
Right.
because a lot of supers don't have a separate line.
Right.
So I've seen a lot of emails that just doesn't. It's just a one paragraph.
Right.
But it should be more like 4 different paragraphs or 3 different paragraphs.
Okay.
Three
So
different-
yeah,
So
that's it. Yeah.
what I'm saying, I said there are 4 structures.
Right.
So one, I said the first one is greeting.
Right.
So just in the first line, say dear someone,
Right.
or good morning someone, and then maybe just skip 2 lines,
Right,
and then
right.
start writing.
Right.
It looks really good.
Right. Right. I think it's visually appealing
Yeah,
or easy on the eye.
yeah,
I guess part of that is like, yeah, if you're writing something that you want the other person to read and understand, you kind of want to make it attractive for them.
right.
You don't want to make it hard to read in their eyes. That's why run-on sentences, when people say, hello, the morning was sunny and it became night, and
Oh, yeah,
and I ate Cheerios, they don't have a period, it's hard to read.
Right.
So I guess the reader ends up getting frustrated,
Yeah.
and your mission has failed because
Yeah.
they put your writing down.
Yeah, and also when you have to talk to the manager or you're submitting your resume,
Right.
it's good to have these kind of visual structures
You mean in the resume itself, or you talk about in the emails that
in the email.
you're sending the resume?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, because it is. I mean, I don't think we consciously feel it or sense it, but I think we all close off from things that are not pleasing to our eye.
right,
You know?
right. And then secondly,
Okay.
there's introduction.
Okay.
So I would recommend not jumping into what you want to talk about.
The leak is done.
Yeah.
The leak is found.
It's fixed. You're good.
Faucet repaired.
Yeah.
Okay.
But just when we meet someone, we say, "How are you? How have you been?"
Right, right.
Right? Just like that. Just say. There are some phrases that you can use. I hope this email finds you well. This is very commonly used. I hope all has been well with you. Or you can also say, like, I hope you're having a great day. Or if you met someone that day and you're sending this email in the afternoon or late evening or something.
Right.
And if you are actually waiting for an answer, you submitted your resume, and for instance, you submitted your resume, and you
Following up.
yeah, you're following up, and that person followed up.
Right.
Then you can say thank you for your prompt reply.
Right.
If someone asks you a question, hey, when is the what time is the water shut off today?
Right.
And you can say thank you for your inquiry,
Right.
rather than just saying 5 p.m. or something like that.
Right. Right. Right.
Water's off from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
And if one of the purposes is to get the communication across quickly, what's wrong with 5 p.m.? Just answering it's 5 p.m. or when's the water shut off, and you answer 5 p.m.
I mean, there's nothing really wrong with it.
Versus saying I'm writing to let you know that it will be 5 p.m.
Yeah. So it's kind of like it's a presentation of yourself. When you're going out, let's say just in the streets, right? You can be in your PJs versus just nice jeans and t-shirts, neat.
Right.
Wearing shoes.
Right. So you're saying and to an interview, or yeah, I see what you're saying.
Or just seeing a friend.
So you're saying it's okay. So even like when you go see a friend, you're not going to wear your pajamas.
Yeah.
You're
it's
going
just
to
your appearance.
You're going to put on a shirt. You're going to try to look clean, right? Because
Yeah.
you're trying to be respectful. Usually, if it's
I can't say there's nothing wrong with it, but you might as well look neat at least.
right. So it's just a matter of presentation, meaning you're just dressing your words.
Yeah.
Dressing your words to look nice for somebody. And I guess you're right. I think I get it now, because if the point of communication or a point of an email is to communicate that message clearly and effectively,
Yeah. And,
part of that,
yeah, in a respectful way.
right, and part of that is to allow, part of that is by making it look appealing or sound appealing to that person reading it. So it's kind of like if you're going around knocking on doors because you work for the phone company and you're trying to get people to sign up for a new phone service, and you're cold calling, knocking on doors that you don't of houses that you don't know who lives there. um, you're not going to go looking unprofessional. Chances are they won't open the door for you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go there looking nice and presentable and clean, with a clipboard and with something that makes you look like you're there for official reasons, it's more easy for people to open the door and to think that and to expect a more professional kind of approach, right? Or expect a more professional interaction from you, versus if they look outside and see you like, I don't know, think of an unprofessional get up, right? And you're looking dirty and disheveled, and they'll most likely call the police on you.
Yeah.
So that's the presentation. So it's kind of like dressing your words up in a way that makes it easier for them to listen, to read,
and understand.
Right.
It's a proper way to communicate with other people.
Right.
And it's also sophisticated.
Okay.
It's and you look intelligent. You look educated.
Right.
Yeah. And also just using sentences rather than just a few words. If you just say water shot at 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., does that mean, do I get to use the water from 5 to 6 p.m.? Or
right. So it's
something like that. So
right.
People might be wondering, what does this mean?
So you could confuse them.
Yeah, you can confuse them
if you don't use the proper proper sentences and proper grammar.
Yeah.
And so that's all about communicating.
Yeah, communicating clearly and
right. Would you use this like, I hope this email finds you well and thank you for your prompt reply, when it's a negative interaction, like when let's say sometimes you're in a sort of an unpleasant interaction with a shareholder about maybe something that you're trying to get done and he's preventing you from doing, right? Let's say getting access into the department to take care of a problem, and you got to go in, but he's refusing access. Would you still write in this manner?
I would say I wouldn't necessarily begin the sentence with thank you, but actually it would depend.
Okay.
Yeah. Because he or she might have said, oh, I have this concern, this is concerning, blah blah blah. I would usually say, I wouldn't say let's say I would not say, no, I need access. I have some sort of introduction. I would say, thank you for letting me know.
How about the email is like, no, you cannot come into my apartment, period. But that.
Yeah, I mean, there are people like that. I have.
So how would you? Would you still write back? Thank you for your prompt reply. Do you think that that's a good tactic to remain professional, or? Because as I'm looking at this, I'm starting to see that maybe it is universal. Maybe I have more confidence in your words than you do.
Yeah, I mean, it is universal, but I would be a little bit careful when it comes to doing that. But yeah, definitely. If you receive an email like that, I wouldn't go and say, but I need to. But I would say, I'm sorry to hear that.
Okay.
I'm sorry you're feeling this way.
Right. So you're saying that the guys the guys in our industry, the part-time supers. So you're saying that the part-time supers have to be flexible to kind of. So don't just use this as a template that they just cut and paste, but to think through the situation and that you're in, and to adapt and be flexible to change your words according to that situation.
I mean, when you get a lot of experience in writing
Yeah.
emails, I think you can do that. But I don't see any problems just copying pasting.
Okay. And it could, yeah. I'm actually liking this list because you can just, especially if you're a person who's not experienced in writing emails, it is a good way to respond to any situation. I would say even if someone's upset, saying thank you often
Yeah.
de-escalates negative emotions.
Yeah, so it's
Depressurizes.
it's much better to say thank you. Even if it's a weird situation that you're saying thank you, I think it's much, much better than you being angry at them together. Like, to them. And we can talk about these when we are talking about the tips on communicating by emails.
Okay.
Also, other phrases that you can use when something's being done, or you didn't solve an issue. For example, like there's a leak going on for like 2 days or something, or you don't have the proper materials to do a certain job. You can always say, I'm currently working on blah blah, or I will look into this.
Ah, I see it. Okay.
Yeah, those two phrases, you can use these. This is I think it's a more proper way to say, I'm doing it right now, or it's not done yet.
Oh, I see.
Something like that. I want to show that there are phrases like this that you can kind of use
I see.
when something is not done.
Right, right.
And also, some of the phrases that I would like to recommend is when you're sending pictures, videos, or invoices, some sort of attachments in your email,
Mm-hmm.
then you can also use these kind of phrases, such as attached is an invoice, attaches
I
a
see.
resume, or please see the attachment, or something is attached within this email.
Right.
Because if you don't mention it, people might forget. People might think, oh, what is this? Or why
Right.
am I getting this email? Or it's important document that you have to submit, but people sometimes just
They gloss over it fast and they miss
yeah,
the
they
stuff.
just miss,
Right.
and they might ask you, like, where is it?
That's true. Sometimes I often look for attached, like attached is or please see attached. If they don't do that, it's easy for me to kind of have it lost.
Right, right. I know these might be a little awkward in the first time, at the first time when you're using these,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't really say these when you meet someone in person.
Right.
Like, I hope this day finds you well, or something like that. You don't say those things. Oh, I hope all has been well with you.
Right.
Things. So it might be awkward, but it's a proper way of opening up a conversation in email settings.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so I introduced some of the phrases that you can use in the beginning of your main paragraph
Right.
of your email. And I also wanted to mention that there are ways to end your email.
Okay.
So when you're done talking about your main point, you should always close up your email, like close up your conversation.
Would it be the same thing as conclusion?
Not a conclusion, but it's just I hope you have a good day, or something like
Oh,
that.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, until next time, or but something like that.
Looking forward.
Yeah, looking forward. So when you're ending, when you're done with whatever point
Yeah.
you want to deliver, you can say, I appreciate your patience and cooperation.
Yeah.
Let's say there's going to be a shut off from 5 to 6 p.m. And then don't just send the email like that. Just like how you opened up the conversation, if you open it up, you have to close it. You have to end it.
Right.
So end your email with, I appreciate your patience and cooperation.
Okay.
Let's try reading this out loud. For example, dear sir or madam, I hope this email finds you well. There's going to be a water shut off from 5 to 6 p.m. I appreciate your patience and cooperation. That sounds like a really good email.
Right.
Like a proper way, a professional way of saying water shut off 5 to 6 p.m.
Right. That is totally true.
Yeah. So it's really easy if you know the structure. You look sophisticated.
Right.
You sound sophisticated, and it looks like you really respect the person who's receiving this email.
Right.
And you know what? If they see this, they're going to treat you like that as well. They're going to respect you as well.
Right, right.
Yeah.
This definitely is way differently felt. Like I feel way different when I'm reading it this way versus the short way.
So, and there are other ways to end your email, close up your email, which is, these are just examples you can use. Thank you for your patience and cooperation. If you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to let me know. I know a lot of, including me, sometimes I don't want to be bothered with questions.
Right.
I just say it.
Okay. So I was gonna say, what if it's like 5:30 and you're off the clock?
Yeah.
And you're like, if you have any questions, please let me know. Then you're sort of inviting a whole night of possible questions that come in.
You can, but that's actually one of the tips that I also wanted to mention. I personally have a set time to respond to emails.
Right.
Unless it's an emergency. But emergencies, I let people know that don't email me. I respond to emails, say 9 to 5.
Right.
Because if I start responding to emails because I want to be nice to people at like
8
9
o'clock
p.m.
at night. 9 p.m. Yeah.
5 a.m., 4:30 a.m., then people are going to start emailing me crazy, like whenever they want. And they will expect me to respond anytime, 24/7.
Right. I think a lot of building managers may make that mistake when they write back at those times. The assumption is, okay, well then I they're going to be up reading emails.
Yes.
And I think that's where building managers, great customer service, I have no doubt, but it leads to burnout.
Oh yeah.
Email burnout, and that impacts overall performance.
Yeah,
and I think that's where we all have to watch out.
Right, and also expectations.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're just gonna expect you to respond whenever they send you an email. And another thing is, there could be cases when there's a real emergency, and because you respond to emails so quickly,
yeah,
I'm smelling gas. You might get an email like that,
yeah,
or like there's a leak.
Right, and you might miss that.
Yeah, then you might miss that.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm seeing the, you have to guard your time and you have to guard your focus.
Right.
Because if you don't guard that, things will slip through that shouldn't slip through.
Right.
And some people feel that, you need to get back to them about their intercom name tag not on properly. And it's important to them, which I get, but it's up to you to determine how to set the boundaries of when that complaint comes in.
Right, right.
And to set the rules for when they're allowed to engage you
Yeah.
in your off
And
time.
this is not because I am lazy.
Right.
I don't want to listen to them.
Right.
No, it's just to be very efficient.
Yes.
'Cause you don't want emails 24/7. It's just not efficient, and you'll probably miss a lot of them if you start doing that.
Right. No, that's a great point. I had a conversation with a resident manager. It was a debate a few months ago where he gave his numbers to shareholders in the building, the residents, and the subtenants, and everyone, and the nanny and the dog walkers. And I asked him why he does that. Just because I'm worried that with like 500 apartments, I think it was like 550 apartments, he's going to get clobbered with phone calls. And he does get clobbered with phone calls. And I asked him why he does that. And he said, well, I just feel like that's customer service. But, or he felt that it was good customer service, or he felt that it was necessary. I don't remember exactly what he said, but I've also seen him when he looks at the phone and he's just like upset because they're calling him at that time. And then and then he ignores them. And then I was thinking, well, that's not very good customer service. And maybe that's what it's doing, is it's causing him to be, because that could have been an emergency, who knows, right? And that could have been something serious that he decided, just being upset, not to answer. And I think that's because he doesn't have filters on his phone calls. And these filters will help him get those important ones, and then all the other majority, which are, I would bet, unimportant, those can get blocked from reaching you.
Right.
And that helps you be more effective at your job.
Yeah, you're absolutely right on that. So I would recommend have a set business hour email time.
How about a business email versus a personal email?
Yeah,
oh.
That's also true. When you have,
that's my
that's a great
contribution for the day.
Yeah. For example, if your email is like taco123@gmail.com.
or hot stuff 2020.
Yeah. I mean, I get it, but I wouldn't really recommend.
Yeah.
Maybe your name and your last name.
Right.
Maybe,
Something professional.
Yeah, with maybe some numbers.
Right.
But,
and also, it's not expensive these days to get your own domain name and hook it up to Gmail, so that you end up looking even more professional by having like george@georgesmith.com, right?
Yeah.
And it looks great. And then you can keep hot stuff 2020 at yahoo.com for your private circle.
That is
I
very
am
true.
God 2021. Yeah, so that's one of the things. That's great though. I think that that's a very important lessons of being professional, because you're right. There's no I would say easier way to lose money and to take away the impression that you're not professional than by doing these things wrong. You may be great in everything else, but a lot of times customer service is about communicating well,
Right.
and communicating effectively, and if you're not able to do that, it really takes away from your value, and value translates to money a lot of times in business, and so you can't command your full value when your communication level is down here.
Yeah, but so it's very important to offer, to provide with great customer service, but just be smart about it.
Right.
Be smart about it, and because you're by yourself, you can't take 500 phone calls at the same time.
Right.
So yeah, well, there's that, and but yeah, we were talking about, please feel free to reach out if you have any questions, right?
Right.
Those are really good ways to end your email, even if you don't feel like it. Yeah. And the last one, closing. It's really saying bye. Seriously, like, I'm done with this email. Don't just write your email. Say sincerely, best regards, with regards, or just thank you, thanks. If it's Christmas, Merry Christmas.
Okay.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Yeah.
Probably the more right way.
Happy holidays, John.
Right.
Something like that.
So this is technically the same thing as saying bouncing out, sayonara, right? All of the casual ways to say that. It's just a really nice way to say goodbye.
Yeah.
Like, I'm leaving now.
Yeah. Mic drop.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sincerely, I'm out.
Yeah.
Right.
So we'll put these out as PDF.
Yeah, we could put them out as PDF, and whoever wants to access them, they can
just copy
download.
and paste.
Yeah, copy and paste, and
I'm sure there are a lot of good materials out there on Google if you Google them.
right.
But I just gathered some of the very commonly used
Right.
ones, and it's very just basic.
I liked how, you had a simpler way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Water shut down from 9 to 11. I'm out.
Yeah.
And then you have, I hope this email finds you well. I'm writing to let you know that the water will be shut off from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. I appreciate your patience and cooperation, sincerely. And that is a really different feeling, right? And I can't say, some people might say, oh, is that effort worth it? Like, is it worth the effort to do that? And maybe not. Who knows, right? I mean, who knows when, if it's gonna be like, doing that at that time is so hugely important. But learning how to do it over time, I think, cumulatively, meaning that little by little, as you keep on emailing in a professional manner, you're going to be seen as a professional.
Yeah.
And you're going to be seen as someone that is serious about the trade, serious about the customers, serious about business. And once again, that translates into more value and more pay.
Exactly. Yeah, I totally agree with that. So that was a brief, I don't know, it was a quick discussion on how you should write emails.
Yeah.
But
thanks for listening to this podcast. This episode ended up being slightly longer than Jennifer and I thought it would be, so we decided to break it up into 2 parts. Stay tuned for part 2. See you there. Thanks.